If I had to choose a word for my 2019, it would be learning. Hi, I'm Desmond. My 2018 was all about me getting somewhere, whether it's getting my first job or getting to America, so my 2019 is all about learning and improving myself. First of all, I'm just gonna get it out of the way and say that this year has been a great year. Great as in overall great, not as in every month has been a blast. Because the first few months of 2019 was terrible for me. I kept feeling bad for myself. I lost both materials and friends that I thought were important to me, so I fell into this infinite circle of sadness. But then, talking to my family and my friends helped me realize there are so many other things to do. I got out of that dreadful sadness and became normal again. That's about when the school year ended, although school's not why I'm sad though. I do great at school and my GPA remained intact. Anyway, the school year ended and I got to come back to Vietnam, my home, for the first time in a year. I had a lot of fun in summer. Meeting my parents again after 1 year, we had a lot to talk about. We seemed to understand each other more because I was so much more mature comparing to when I stayed at home with them. I got to hang out with a lot of my friends whom I really missed, and I got to travel a bit, so that was fun. I spent the summer finishing a lot of single-player video games, playing a lot of multiplayer video games with my friends, watching movies and TV shows. I enjoyed summer thoroughly, but unfortunately, the summer ended, and before you knew it, I went back to America. Again, for the second time. Going back to this place, this time on my own, it was so depressing. The excitement is gone. The place I live is scarce in population and has a deadly silent atmosphere 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know how it feels already, to be in America. I had an 8-hour layover in New York City and I was really tired when I got there, so I just went with the first guy that asked me if I wanted a taxi. Turns out it costed about 5 times Uber or Lyft, so that was salt on top of the wound. I finally got back to St. Louis, and the first thing that greeted me was the freaking airport. The reason why I hate the airport so much is because a few months ago... Yes, rewind that. Before I went back to Vietnam, my flight got delayed, guess what, a total of 11 hours. I spent half a day living in airports, specifically 6 hours at the St. Louis Lambert Airport. So when it's the first thing that I saw coming back to this city, I freaked out. I had to get out of there as soon as possible. This time, I requested an Uber back to my dorm room because I do learn from my mistakes. Thank you very much. Again, it was this dreadful silent atmosphere that surrounded my body and my mind, so without even unpacking my suitcases, the first thing I did was sleep. So yeah, the first time my roommate saw me, he saw me sleeping. Anyways, over the next few days, school started. Around this time is when one of my friends whom I hung out a lot with over the course of summer slowly and steadily stopped talking to me, so I needed to find a way to combat the sadness that this event brought upon me. On top of the undeniable truth that this city is so boring. Luckily, me alongside with my friends found it. The cure was Street Fighter V. Now I know, it's not the greatest fighting game of all time, nor is it the greatest Street Fighter game, but it was the latest one and the one that we had. We started playing it, sometimes pulling an all-nighter, and it was just the best. Matches can get so competitive and have a million possible outcomes, depending on the next move the two players make and the critical timing of when to press the buttons. That's why it is so engaging, and when we do pull an all-nighter, we would go outside and look at the sunrise and realize that damn, this city might not have anything, but it sure is beautiful when the sun shines across it. Before we knew it, every week ended with us getting together to play Street Fighter until we physically cannot anymore. It was like therapy for us, an extremely effective way of releasing stress. Half of the semester already ended, and it's filming season once again. Last year I was in camera and light, so every crew only needed a small number of people, and films were done in a way smaller scale, and it needed to be done in a smaller time frame. However, I attended in advanced camera and light this semester, so the films needed to be done in a bigger scale. Every crew needed at least 10 people on set, and we had a time frame of 4 to 5 days instead of 1 or 2 days comparing to last year. Being students, we wouldn't go out and hire someone. Instead, the people from Advanced Produce and Direct would ask everyone and anyone whether they would like to be on their set. Of course, I was asked to arrive on other people's sets, and seeing that it's my friends, I couldn't say no. I spent the entire fall break working on films, and I gotta admit, it was the best experience I've ever had. It was so much fun and tiring at the same time. Someday I would go home at 4 in the morning and crash on my bed. It also taught me how to interact with people confidently and easily, to the point that I would sometimes crack stupid jokes on set, and people would have to stop themselves from laughing. The people whom I made friends with on set would say good things about me whenever I'm mentioned in a conversation, and in return, I would buy them food. Nah, I'm just kidding. In return, I would do the same thing. That's my 2019. I learned how to be happy, whether it's in gain or in loss. I learned how to look for the little things like sunrise on a rooftop, and most importantly, I learned to appreciate my friends. So thank you, whoever made my 2019 a little better by playing Street Fighter with me or filming with me, and thank you for watching this video. See you guys in the next decade.